Have you ever felt like God couldn't use you because of how quiet you are? Not because you don't love Him and not because you don't believe in Him, but because you don't feel confident when you speak or get anxiety. And you don't feel like the loud ones God usually uses. Today I want to talk about Moses and what his story reveals about how God calls the quiet people. When we meet Moses in scripture, he's already carrying a lot. And I think that's why so many of us recognize ourselves in him. He's aware of his limits. He's aware of his weaknesses. And when God calls him, Moses doesn't feel ready. In Exodus chapter 4, verse 10, Moses says to God, "O Lord, I am not eloquent. I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." Moses doesn't hide this. He doesn't pretend. He tells God exactly where he feels inadequate. And that matters because God never asked Moses to deny this, to deny his reality. In Exodus chapter 4, verse 11 through 12, God responds by saying, "Who has made man's mouth?" God doesn't shame Moses. He doesn't minimize the struggle. He reminds Moses who is in control. In other words, I already know how you speak, and I still called you. In Exodus chapter 4, verse 14 through 16, God brings Aaron alongside Moses, but Moses is still the one called to lead. God doesn't remove Moses from his assignment. He supports him within it. This tells us something important. God doesn't replace quiet people. He equips them. Moses didn't suddenly become bold. He didn't suddenly become eloquent. He became obedient. And that's where God moved. If you ever felt quiet disqualified you, if you ever felt like God needed someone louder, Moses' story says otherwise. God knew Moses' struggle to speak, and God still chose him. If this resonates with you, you are not alone. Have you ever felt like God was calling you, but your voice didn't feel ready? Before we end the video, I just want you to take a moment with this. Think about where God has called you. Even if your voice has felt too quiet, you don't have to be loud. You don't have to be perfect. God still calls the quiet ones. Sometimes being still is exactly how God moves in us. Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." And it makes me wonder about the places we shrink. I know I still struggle with this myself. You are not alone in feeling quiet or overlooked. If this resonates with you, take a breath, sit with it, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever felt God calling you, but your voice didn't feel ready? What did it feel like to be quiet in that season? I just want you to remember, you are not behind, you are not overlooked, and God is patient with the quiet ones. And He's calling you right where you are.